Hold it. Cut the music, cut the intro music. It's you, isn't it? It's you. You're part of that 75% that is not subscribed to the West Ham Way YouTube channel. You might watch us every day. You might watch us every other day. This might even be your first video, but you're part of that 75%, aren't you? You are. I want you to prove me wrong. I want you right now, before we even get into this video, before we even get into the West Ham Way, I want you right now to subscribe to the West Ham Way YouTube channel. Put into the comment section, subscribed with the hammers emoji. We need to get our subscribers up. 25% of you guys who watch our videos are subscribed. 75% of you are not. It's crazy. You guys need to subscribe to the West Ham Way YouTube channel. We've got massive things coming in the preparation for the next season, including a major giveaway every single month. I can't reveal what it is just yet, but you need to be subscribed to the West Ham Way YouTube channel to even have a hope of getting it. So right now, click that subscribe button. But anyway, now that we've got through that, let's get into the video. Listen, I thought it was a done deal. Borussia Dortmund going in for Álvarez. It was the here we go on Twitter by Fabrizio. X said that we have to move on to other targets. And now, all of a sudden, he's not signing for Borussia Dortmund. It's concluded they're not going in for him. And it has been said that should Declan Rice leave, which is looking pretty likely at the moment. Obviously, if you watch the previous video on the Declan Rice, 72 hours to go, it seems as though within the next couple of days, that transfer saga is going to be concluded. We need a Declan Rice replacement. And I know Mark Carlaw is going to be doing a video soon on who that should be. But in David Moyes' eyes, Edson Álvarez is top of that list. We did a video a little bit ago on Edson Álvarez and whether we should sign him or not. 25 years old, Champions League experience, Europa League experience, currently plays for Ajax, has had a lot of interest from other clubs, obviously including Borussia Dortmund, who, even with their Jude Bellingham money, walked away from the transfer dealings. So this is not going to be an easy deal by any means. He's going to be tough to buy. He's going to be tough to get. I don't think the transfer fee is going to be too difficult. I don't think it's going to be too difficult to agree. It's going to be a fairly high valuation, between 35 and sort of 50 million pounds for the Mexican international. Personal terms may be a little bit more difficult. Of course, Borussia Dortmund have that Champions League pull and they still weren't able to get the deal done. So it's definitely going to be a difficult deal for us to get over the line. However, with the 105 million pounds potentially coming in for Declan Rice, with him being top of David Moyes' list, I can see him being our marquee signing for this window. And with Borussia Dortmund out the race, we seem to be going to front runners to sign him. He's not forcing a move out of Ajax. He's not desperate to leave, but I think he wants to make that jump to the next level, whether that be for more Champions League football or even the Premier League. Of course, West Ham United have Premier League football every single year, hopefully. And also we have European football, Europa League for this year. Now, what makes this deal a little bit more interesting, however, is that we've just appointed, as I've recorded this video, it's Monday afternoon, Tim Steiten has apparently got to work today. You know, he stepped in the office, he's met with David Sullivan, David Moyes, and he is expected to have a heavy influence on our transfer dealings. So even with the Mexican international becoming available, there's no guarantee that we're going to go in for him. You know, Tim might come in and he might have a different target for us to go for. But with other transfer sort of targets, you know, being priced out of a move. So, for instance, Lavia, he seems to be going to Arsenal or Liverpool, so I don't think we're going to go in for him. João Paulinho, we don't think the price tag for him is worth what he is worth. I believe Fulham have put a £50 million price tag on him. So it looks as though, you know, with us pulling out of the race for Edson Álvarez, it looks as though we may be re-entering this race. Now, as I've said in a previous video, I made it pretty clear that he is a player that does excite me. You know, I think this year we know that Declan Rice can't be replaced. We also know that I think we're going to shift to a more traditional number 6. In the past, Declan Rice has had insane progressive ball carries from the number 6 position, picking up the ball very deep in the midfield and driving it forward alongside Lucas Paqueta. with the other number 8 or the number 10, or whatever you want to call it, where Thomas Suchek is, kind of just ghosting in the advanced area. And I believe we're going to be switching to a more traditional number 6 and getting a more sort of outright number 8 to sort of combat the lack of Declan Rice in the squad. So with that being said, I think he's perfect for that role. You know, his interceptions are really, really good. He reads the game very well. His long passing isn't as good as I would like, having seen his stats, having seen some clips of what he's about. But I think the number 6 role is probably the most pivotal position we are going to sign this summer. Of course, if we want to adapt as this counter-attacking team, your number 6 is basically at the pivotal part of that. You know, the idea is your centre-back feeds the ball to the number 6 as quickly as possible, and then your number 6 starts off the move. You know, they decide whether they want to bring it forward a bit or whether they want to spray it out to the left wing, the right wing. I imagine what the remit will be to the number 6 is give it to Lucas Paqueta, let him pull the strings, let him play his game. So the number 6 position is going to be very, very important, not just for his defensive capabilities, but for starting off our counter-attacking football. So I do hope that when we get a proper number 6, I mean, we've been linked with the likes of like McTominay and people of that caliber. To get someone like Edson Álvarez, someone that Borussia Dortmund are interested in, a Champions League side, I think it'd be a major, major coup for the club to be able to get this deal over the line. I know that other people have got different players that they would prefer us to sign, but I honestly think Edson Álvarez is a really good signing for West Ham. The fee, I think, would be pretty good. He's a young footballer, like I said, Mexican international, Champions League experience. He's part of that sort of young Ajax academy. Obviously, didn't come through the academy because, you know, he's a Mexican international, but he's part of that kind of young squad that they built alongside like Hakim Ziyech and De Jong and all these other players that came up through the Champions League ranks, and as Jurrien Timber as well. These players who have been built into this young Ajax squad. And Ajax play very attractive football, and they were very, very good in the Champions League last season. So I do think that he would be a very good signing for West Ham. If you want to know who the Declan Rice replacement should be, if you want to know who you reckon West Ham should be signing in the next few days, Mark Carl will be taking that video of the Rice replacement. So watch out for that. That'll be coming very, very soon. But at least we've got our options open. You know, he was one of our number 1 targets. Borussia Dortmund seemed like they were set to sign him. But now we are back in the race.